All right, there is a big life sign.
Awesome. Welcome, folks. Here's our first episode of Ramlog Weekly something. We're going to try to do a weekly. This is the week that was last last week tonight. That's what John Oliver's using. So we'll do something slightly better than that, less British, more more keeping it real, right?
Absolutely.
Nice, awesome. So I think the main things we wanted to talk about tonight, we wanted to talk a little bit about the Crawford Walmart video. Crawford, Ohio, there was a kid with a BB gun who uh, got shot by the SWAT team, and it's pretty crazy footage, and it's a little hard to find, but we figured we tracked a little bit of it down. Hopefully, we'll be able to play that back. Wanted to look at the Quip, which is a new app that allows you to do collaborative documents, collaborative like note taking, and we were doing some travel logs of our bike ride up through the Bronx yesterday. Yeah, we rode our bikes to the Bronx. That's right. It was fun, right?
Yeah, we made it even to Westchester.
That's correct. Yeah, we live in Jersey City, so like we're pretty far down south, and we rode all the way up into the Bronx, up into Westchester County briefly, and then back down to Little Italy, which was nice as well, right?
hmm
For
Yes.
for lunch, and then back across the Harlem River, and back across the George Washington Bridge, and back on home. So we'll talk to you a little bit about that. We'll talk about Quip as we go through. What else? Anything else? Oh, Battery Park, right? The ferry uh, at night coming back from Battery Park, and we got. Do we have any of those shots? Maybe.
Yeah, we have some of those shots. I should be able to pull a couple of those up.
Cool. Yeah, because Ramlog. What is Ramlog, Robin? How would you describe Ramlog?
So Ramlog is our travelogue, and the main goal of Ramlog is really to explore the world locally and globally. So it really tries to capture, you know, bike rides, hikes, just getting to know. And we're in New York City, mostly in Jersey City, so really getting to know the activities and things you can do to have a nice luxury, relaxing lifestyle in your day to day. So on Ramlog, what you'll find is a lot of photographs of activities and events that we've done, a lot of maps of bike rides or hikes that we've done. You'll also see drives. So recently we took a nice road trip. So we have a great map of that road trip if you ever want to do such a drive. You know, we drove around Ireland, so there's a good map of Ireland and what it took to drive around the country. There's a couple of good drives. There are cruises. There was a Hudson foliage cruise, which we may do again this fall. It takes you up north on the Hudson, and you're able to see the leaves change as you travel up on the water.
So
So
great
Ramlock,
stuff on that. Okay.
yeah, there's a lot of great stuff on Ramlock. So check it out. That's ramlock.com.
And this is a new format. We think this will be a great way to kind of summarize some of that stuff, right? Like we'll just do
Yeah.
like some hangouts and talk about stuff, look at maps, look at pictures, talk about places to go, things to do, things that are happening in the news that we find interesting, movies we've seen, restaurants we've been to, that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Cool. So here's our ride in a lovely, what would you call this, if this was like an ink blot, Robin, what would you call, I see like a profile, right? There's like a dude, there's a nose over here, right, on this side. See that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it's an interesting shape. That's the
You
one
know
thing
what we call
about
it?
the
I think we'll
maps
call
and
this
the bike
ride,
rides is to have the
we'll call
interesting shape.
this
Mm.
witch's face. This was the witch's face ride. You like
Uh,
that?
yeah, no. I would just go, it was the Bronx ride.
Bronx ride,
Um,
because you're so florid and grandiloquent with your language, right? Yeah, precisely. So, What about the quip? So this
Well,
is the
maybe we
map.
talk about the ride and then we can talk about the quip. So do you want to do it that way or do you want to do it piece by
Can you
piece?
start
Because I
to
think,
load stuff up in the so we at least have the images we can talk to? Because then when you're on camera, we'll see uh, the photos. Because you have the photos. Then we can talk about the ride now. But like you're at least
okay,
getting.
so yeah, so we should talk about the ride. I can pull the quip up in the meantime.
Okay,
Um,
so you'll be working on that.
yes.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah, so we took the ferry into uh, 42nd Street, right by the Intrepid, and normally we take our bikes down through World Financial Center, which is further down, but we got a bit of a late start. We wanted to get up into the Bronx. So we came over actually right around here, uh, just below 42nd Street. So the Intrepid's over here, and this is the ferry terminal. So the ferry came in, picked up our bikes. We brought our bikes on the ferry and then rode up along the west side. Uh, it's a nice ride. Stopped for a couple of photos that Robin has within her repertoire, and then went underneath the George Washington Bridge, attempted to bike up this tough hill right here. You really got to be ready, and it's a lot of tight turns, so you got to be able to, manage your low gears and deal with a pretty difficult climb. But aside from that, it's a pretty flat ride, and then you're up at elevation all the way up to here, where they've basically um, closed the bike trail, which I think typically would go up into the Bronx across the Henry Hudson Bridge, which is like 9A, that goes up into like the Riverdale section of the Bronx. But instead, oops, but instead we had to take some stairs down here and wind up by Tubby Hook, which is a nice little park. We went there many years ago, right, Robin?
Yes, and I think it's renamed now. It's a new restaurant there.
Yeah, the restaurant has a new name. I think the place is actually called Tubby Hook, which is why it's at least showing up on the map. Um, and then we rode our bikes this way, and then we took a left, rode past Inwood Hill Park, which is nice, right? We went here also quite a while back when we did a really long walk all the way back down to Hell's Kitchen along the west side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then took this is the Broadway Bridge up here into I guess the Marble Hill section of the Bronx, which we didn't really realize while we were there. Rode up through Kingsbridge, which is an area that's kind of like a nice part of Queens, which was cool. I think Riverdale is supposed to be pretty pricey. Some of the multi-million dollar homes are up in that area. Um, Kingsbridge seemed more reasonable, but nice. And then up around Manhattan College, we came into Van Cortlandt Park, and then rode right past the golf course where I probably golfed more rounds than anywhere else. So that was cool. And then rather than ride out along the golf course, we found a trail that just kept going and going uh, through the back of the golf course, and then continued all the way up into Westchester. That was pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm trying to get us a video of that.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, and then snaked around a little bit along McLean Avenue, and then came to a decision point where we were deciding whether we wanted to try to make it all the way out to City Island and uh, Orchard Beach, Pelham Bay over here, which is nice. But it was getting a little later in the day. We were getting hungry, and we decided to ride our bikes down to um, Little Italy in the Bronx, Arthur Avenue, where we had a great lunch. A couple of enormous, I guess four total enormous slices of pizza, and more than filled us up and prepared us for the rest of the ride. Plus, we stopped at that bakery, Rob. What was it? Madonna Bakery? Was that what it was called?
Yeah, I think so.
Back in the zoom in a little.
I don't have the bakery info, but it was a great bakery. I should have remembered the name.
If only there was a way for us to find that information. Somebody could make some money. They'd just develop something like that.
So I could look at
There it
that.
is. Madonia Brothers Bakery. That's what it was. That was it, right? Remember the blue awning?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was it. So that was cool. We did that. And then we started to head back home, which was a bit of a circuitous ride because at first we were going to go back down along the west side of Manhattan and take the ferry back, but we decided since we're already up around the George Washington Bridge, might as well just cut across further up and then zip back down along the west side, which really is what we did. So this bridge over here was pretty dodgy, very single file with fences over the Harlem River here, but it was overall, it was good. We got across without too much trouble once we were back into Manhattan. And I think that was it, right? So then we came back across. We do this ride all the time along River Road on the west side of Manhattan. Got up past 30 miles and then picked up the light rail since it was dark so that we didn't have to do the end of our ride at dark. Unfortunately, we're heading back into the darker months, so we had to stop because it was about 6:30. The sun was going down, and we took the ferry out. So were you able to get organized about some videos or photos or clips or something you could share?
Yes. So I can do a screen share here. See if it works. Let's try this one. Can you see the QuickTime?
Yep.
See, is it? There it is. Do you see the video?
Not yet.
Okay, so let me just work on. Let's adjust this.
Should I play I have the Crawford thing up if you want me to play that. You could bring her home with your video clips if you want.
Here we go.
There it is.
So this is a ride through Van Cortlandt Park.
Man, who's that really cool looking dude up ahead of you? Who is that? That guy looks awesome.
I don't know. I don't see anyone at this time. Oh, there's a dude.
I like his cycling attire.
Yes, he looks like he's going pretty good.
It's funny because it just hops, like you don't get every frame. It's sort of zipping a little. But trust us that there's video, and this is basically in the Bronx, which doesn't really look like the Bronx. You know, if you were to guess, you might guess like, oh, I think you get a quick glimpse of like the golf course over there, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, this looks like, you know, rural Pennsylvania or Vermont or somewhere out, you know, further outside in the country. But actually, this is in the Bronx, and this part is a little Bronx-like. Like I think there's some graffiti on the walls. I don't know if you got the graffiti.
I don't think so. Yeah, I
Okay,
got a little jumpy there for a moment because on this trail there are a lot of roots and wood, so it was a little jumpy there at that moment.
No, this is highly dexterous of you.
I'm going to stop it now, but you get the idea.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great path and it's an enjoyable path. And once we create a good video, non-stabilized, you'll find it up on Ramlog for sure.
Cool. So what else? Do you have any other shots or clips or anything, or should we switch over to the
Yes,
crop?
I
Oh,
can.
do
I can.
you have any of the pictures from the Battery Park stuff? That was cool.
Yeah. Okay. So the Battery Park stuff. So there are pictures. Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Okay.
But you
So
can work on
just
it because I can see it. So meanwhile, I'll talk a little bit about sports. Does that sound good? Just to kind of cover for you, I'll talk a little sports because Thursday night was an incredible sports night in New York where the Giants. I was out for the Giants game. I'm a big Giants fan. They look great. They went down to Washington and kind of taught an NFC East rival a thing or three on the pitch. Hey, what's going on over there? You got it? You got pictures? I see
yeah, I
pictures.
have pictures. You want to see pictures?
Yeah, and then I also saw Derek Jeter with his walk-off game winner in his last game at the stadium, which turns out it was also the first game he ever played in the Bronx where the Yankees were eliminated from playoff contention. So every other game he'd ever played in the Bronx, they were always still uh, in contention, which I thought was interesting. And then he won with the walk-off. Apparently, he hit an RBI single today, and then they removed him for a substitute. So storybook stuff from the Jeter kid. You're gonna like now. I see me over there. Are you gonna switch it over?
Yeah.
Okay, it's all you.
Okay. So we have some photos.
Okay.
Can you see them?
They can seem a little better now. It was kind of small before. So this is all down by the Battery Park, right?
Yeah, this is at my Battery Park. What's the quality like when you see these photos?
Not bad.
Sorry.
I mean, I think if you're just flipping through them, it's fine. Like I wouldn't, but full screen, like if you go full screen and just scroll through them while we talk. That's the fullest you go. Because you can see a lot of the stuff around it, like all the stuff. There's no way. You just pop them up individually.
Yeah, this is not working as expected.
It's okay.
Uh,
But it's really nice down there is the point. So like, if you can get down to Battery Park, especially at night, it's all safe. Don't worry about it. There was one crazy woman. What was she yammering on about? 5 years. 5 years. She was
yeah.
yelling to the universe, and we're her echo chamber. So whatever she was upset about, we're now echoing that. But aside from a random crazy New Yorker, it was pretty beautiful down there. And then we took the ferry across, right? Do you have any
Yeah,
pictures
we
of that?
did. We took the ferry.
Great.
So we got
Jersey
some
City.
really good shots of the Jersey City. So, for example, that was a good Jersey City shot.
I like the lanterns too.
The lanterns are really gorgeous, and you can see the clock, which is very nice. And then we got, um, we have a nice shot of when we took the ferry.
Yeah, those are
So
nice.
we have a
Really,
really great shot
can you go
of
full screen with that?
the ferry.
Yeah, that's better. Because that was amazing. I mean, that was taken from the Liberty Landing ferry on our way back um, from Manhattan to Jersey City, and it's the first time we'd really done it at night. This, I guess, was Friday night about 8, right? A little
Yeah,
after 8:15.
yeah.
Um, but 8:15 starts to feel a lot later by the end of September. unfortunately. But you get some beautiful views of the city from there. And it was great just because we had the upper deck of the ferry to ourselves, which really was awesome. So that was very cool. Other stuff on that, or that's pretty much the summary, right?
Yep.
Any other media we got this week that you want to share?
Um, no, I think that's it.
Cool. And then I'll screen share this one, and we can talk a little bit about this, or at least. Um, oh, nice stuff. Uh, you can see that, right?
1 second.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah, I can see it.
I'm also producing. It's good if you have a third person, I think, to control the Hangout. So anyway, this is the clip from.
I can't see it anymore.
Okay, thanks. Still showing?
And now it disappeared
Doesn't
again. There.
show when you go full screen apparently. But we'll just play it. So it's just sad. So it's another one of these things where this kid, granted, he probably wasn't acting responsibly, but he's a kid. You know, like he had a BB gun from within Walmart. They sell BB guns. He's walking around, minding his own business. He's a teenage boy who has a BB gun, and he's just kind of goofing around. He's not being supervised. There's a shot at one point, I don't think it's in here, where there's another family browsing in the aisle, and they're fine. They're not afraid of the kid. He's not menacing anybody. He's just there. But
Talking on his phone.
yeah, but some idiot called uh, the police, and the police come in with guns ablazing, apparently telling the kid to put his gun down. He drops the gun, crawls down on the floor. Police come in, and they just shoot him, kill him. Terrible. Here's the guy. This is a shot of the guy coming in. This guy. Look at that guy.
Yeah, I think they fired before, right? Before they came in.
Did they?
Yeah, I think they shot him before they came in.
How's that possible? I mean, he ran around the corner when he got shot in the video. Doesn't look like it from the video, right? Unless you think he got shot there.
Yeah.
He's crawling around pretty good. I think that's when he gets shot. That's when he gets killed, at least. You know what I mean? So even if he got shot before, but he put the gun down. So anyway, that makes me angry.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, especially since, you know, he wasn't doing anything wrong. He wasn't
Yeah.
doing anything illegal. He was in the store where they
Especially
sell guns.
Walmart selling guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they just shouldn't. And it's an open carry state too, right? So you're allowed to be out in public carrying a gun anyway if it's licensed. And it wasn't even a
Yeah.
real. It was a BB gun, right?
Yeah. It wasn't a real gun. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just standing there. He's on the phone. He has the gun. Part of the problem is that someone calls and says this kid is menacing people and pointing guns and all these sorts of things, which was accurate. And the simple fact that police would come in and guns blazing and shoot someone in a store that sells BB guns without finding out exactly what's happening is also a problem.
Yeah.
So
You know what
that's
else is a problem is your shot. Your shot is we got to frame the shot with appropriate space above your head. Look at that. Do you think that's better? That's
it's
what
okay.
that's what all the media people tell me.
Yeah.
Look at that. Now you seem more bookish.
I am more bookish. I'm in
You're
front
more
of a
learned.
bookshelf.
You're more learned. You're highly credentialed, aren't you? This is the end of the show, by the way. I don't know what else do we have. I don't want to end on it's terrible. This kid got shot. Things are sad. What do we end on?
I don't know. I think it was good. We didn't really talk about Quip, but we could
Oh,
do
why don't you
that.
close on Quip? Maybe we could close on Quip.
Okay. So I could do a screen share on that.
Yep. So Quip's a new app. It's out there. It was recommended by O'Reilly, the guy who does the O'Reilly books. I follow him on Twitter. He recommended it. And then went over to the App Store, saw it had like 5 stars. People seemed to like it. And then we started playing around with it. We used it for this past weekend for like the bike ride, for example. So you're on screen.
Okay. So you can see Quip here. This is the basic test desktop view. It's a collaborative tool that you can use across devices. It's particularly good at that. It syncs into kind of a Google Docs connector, so you log in with your Google account to. So you can have a version, you can have the app on your phone, you can use it on the website, and it syncs and stores your information at the same time. So what we did was in the Ride to the Bronx, we created a document for it. And in the document, as you can see, as we went through the day, we took pictures. So this is one of the photographs of Mike riding in the Bronx. And we're riding across the street. It's a very nice one. This is another photograph in the Bronx where we're riding along the highway. This is just coming out, heading towards Moshulu, really, on our way back. And this is the dicey pathway, which is a little blurred. But this is the South County Trail. So when we rode through Cortlandt Park, we followed the path all the way, and eventually it hit the South County Trail, which goes north for another 14 miles, I believe. So I think in the future we are going to tackle the next 14 miles, and we'll update you on that. But for yesterday, we decided that we've ridden a good path, and we'll take a exploration of a little bit of Westchester and head back down to the Bronx and the wonderful George Washington Bridge. And this is the view from the Hudson River front up on the west side. And this is where we took our first stop, took our picture, and, you know, it's a nice photograph, don't you think?
Yeah, man, that's an attractive couple. That's one thing.
It's a very attractive couple. Great views from the up the Hudson and along the Hudson, and these are our pizza slices. And as you can see, when we were in Little Italy and we got these pizzas, they are huge
Yeah, this
slices.
Full Moon Pizzeria, Full Moon Pizza Place was pretty good there. I think it was nice. I think the Madonia Brothers Bakery was probably the thing that we really loved out of it. I think the pizza was good too. Just a lot of food, right?
Yeah, it has a lot of food. I think really and truly, one slice is plenty. We had two slices each, which is a lot, but it was very tasty and very good. And the bakery was great. We got some bread at the bakery, got a cranberry walnut bread, which is very delicious, had it sliced and toasted with butter, delectable. Um, and we also got a red velvet muffin, which was so good.
That was a good red velvet muffin. Yeah.
That was a very good red velvet
That
muffin.
I think that might need to be the name of this episode. I think we
Red
might refer
velvet
to this,
muffin.
or just the velvet muffin, right? Like we could call this.
You know, we should take a photograph of it. I could share it with
Well,
the
sometimes
listeners.
velvet muffins are best left to the imagination. You know.
So
You want to
in
come back
terms
on
of
camera? I
quip,
think we can
in
wrap
terms
it
of
up.
quip,
Oh,
in terms of
more quip.
yeah, I just
I
want
was
to.
ready to wrap on velvet muffin, but yeah, keep going. Whatever you got.
Okay, you can wrap.
No, go ahead, because you'll be sad otherwise. So keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's still a tool we're looking into, and it really is a cross between a productivity tool and a collaborative tool. So more to come on that.
Cool. Well, we like it so far. We'll keep working on it, right? Because you don't know what you're not always a huge fan of these things if they're bad.
No,
And used it for it seemed to work well for the trip. It kind of reminded me a little bit of a Google event. Um, when Google has events that you can share into that allow you to sort of do photo sharing around a specific thing you're doing. That's kind of what we
yeah,
were doing for the travel log, which seemed to work pretty well. Plus, there's like SMS and other tools just to help us communicate and collaborate with each other. Um, cool. You done screen sharing or more?
and this is the last piece. I figure we can end on this one, which is ramlog.com. And this is our site.
Cool. And that strapping fellow there climbing Mount Joe in the Adirondacks. Who would that be? Is that Brad Pitt?
It might be. Tune in next time and you'll find out.
Yeah, from the size of that backpack, I think that's got to be Brad Pitt or George Clooney. It's one of those guys for sure.
All
So
right, I think that's
that's
it for screen sharing. Um, I'm going to stop that now.
okay.
This has been good.
There you are. All right, and that was episode one. So thanks, folks, for joining us. Any final parting comments, Robin?
No, this has been good and look forward to the next one.
Cool, and we'll try to do it Sunday nights. Maybe we'll even bring people in over time, but we're just getting our legs under us with this. So thanks again for coming out, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.